This presentation is about livable communities and universal design, which is a very timely opportunity for the Central Plains of Kansas, comprising Harvey, Sedgwick, and Butler counties. It's called the Livable Plains Initiative, and it's sponsored by the Central Plains Area Agency on Aging and the Visioneering Wichita Older Adults Alliance. Right now, we have a perfect storm of challenges for the Central Plains of Kansas. We have unsustainable community development models, we have declining population, and we have an aging population crisis. Let's talk first about unsustainable community development models. Suburban sprawl is becoming an unsustainable financial model. Farmlands and open spaces are used inefficiently. Transportation is costly. Suburban sprawl is also becoming an unsustainable environmental model. With all this extra distance traveled, our gas-powered vehicles are hurting air quality. Let's talk about declining population. We forecast a demand for 170,000 new workers over the next 30 years, but we will come nowhere near meeting that demand if current trends continue, because people are leaving our area. Aging population crisis. Across America, the number of people 65 and older will nearly double over the next 20 years. Kansas will be among the hardest hit states in this aging population crisis because we rank 11th in the nation for percentage of population over age 65. We rank 5th in the nation for population over age 85. According to an AARP survey, almost 90% of adults 50 and older prefer to stay in their homes as long as possible, which will further complicate economic and environmental challenges for our communities and their infrastructures. This crisis can be averted. Older people don't need to be forced out of their homes as their needs change. We simply need to improve housing options and community design standards to accommodate our aging population. And this represents a huge opportunity for the Central Plains. The fact is, boomers will not age the way our parents did. They will move to wherever their needs are being met. According to AARP Senior Vice President Eleanor Ginsler, while boomers will reflect the patterns of earlier generations and mostly age in place, the sheer number of boomers will increase demand for a whole variety of home and community options. And it's not just baby boomers who will bring this demand. People with disabilities often have to move to a place where their needs can be met. Even young families can benefit from universal design's wider doors and zero-step entrances, while making their homes visitable by parents and friends of every age and physical capability. We can be that place. Only 46% of American communities have begun planning to address the needs of the exploding population of baby boomers. Only a handful of those have made any significant progress. The Kansas Central Plains can be a winner in this race if we start now. The opportunity is great. The communities that respond to this growing need will enjoy an enormous share of the social, economic, and human capital available from the largest, healthiest, best educated, and most affluent generation of older adults in American history. Now is the time. The national trend is toward more sustainable municipal models built around the concept of mixed-use core communities. In the process, we can also serve the growing needs of older Americans. The tools are available. An emerging movement in community and architectural design can give us the edge we need in the Central Plains. The concepts here are called livable communities and universal design. You may also have heard livable communities called sustainable communities or mixed-use neighborhoods or ageless communities. Other terms you may have heard for universal design are inclusive design and human-centered design. So what are livable communities? Livable communities are environmentally and economically sustainable. Livable communities are designed to serve people of every physical ability and every age, including those with physical, cognitive, or sensory impairments. Livable community design applies to the planning and design of homes, landscapes, businesses, neighborhoods, transportation systems, and entire cities. And it involves mixed-use zoning, so neighborhoods serve a broad range of residential, business, shopping, and cultural needs. Livable communities have housing options. Livable communities have transportation options, which reduce travel distances to conserve energy and financial resources, and they provide alternate modes of transportation other than private vehicles that are accessible to all citizens. Livable communities accommodate all ages and needs. Livable communities reduce the need to place older people in assisted living facilities and nursing homes, a financially inefficient solution and one that creates social segmentation. Livable communities are sustainable communities with revitalized neighborhoods that efficiently use resources, protect and preserve farmland and open space, offer affordable housing, and provide diverse transportation services. They place retail, cultural, and other services nearer to homes, often within walking distance, meaning less reliance on costly personal transportation. Livable communities map assets carefully and deliberately, and they make it possible to live in your home and function in your neighborhood even if you have a functional disability. Livable communities allow people of all ages to live together and take care of each other. And isn't that an important treasure that we have forgotten in our current community models? Let's talk about universal design, which is an integral component of creating livable communities. Universal design is an emerging architectural movement. The Center for Universal Design at North Carolina State University defines it as providing equitable use, flexibility of use, simple and intuitive use, perceptible information, tolerance for error, low physical effort, size and space for approach and use. Universal design improves accessibility and visitability because, although we know that we ourselves will never get old and have special needs, wouldn't it be nice if our homes were visitable by people who do have special needs or are older than we are? In homes, universal design reduces the need for people to move or renovate existing homes as their needs change. In public venues, it allows access and use by all people. It includes basic functional changes such as zero-step entrances, wide interior doors, large bathrooms, at least one accessible half bath on the first floor, lever handles on doors because as we age, our manual dexterity tends to decrease, non-load-bearing interior walls in homes especially, and the ability to widen corridors, especially in homes. Contrary to popular belief, universal design can be an affordable alternative with efficient space planning, careful value engineering, selection of low-cost construction methods, and a larger vocabulary of architectural options to reach the same goals, decreasing barriers and increasing accessibility. Livable communities and universal design are gaining momentum. It's an idea whose time has come. The federal government has aligned funding opportunities and coordinated planning requirements among the Department of Transportation, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the Environmental Protection Agency with the creation of the Interagency Partnership for Sustainable Communities. How will the partnership help communities? It will align funding opportunities across the agencies. It will build regional capacity and collaboration among agency field offices. It will coordinate federal planning requirements for housing, transportation, air quality, and water infrastructure, and it will remove barriers within each agency's regulations and better coordinate federal actions. What the partnership wants to do is increase community benefits in many areas, reduce household transportation costs, attract private investment, avoid infrastructure costs, strengthen neighborhood property values, protect farmland and open space, deliver equitable investments, and improve public health and mobility for all ages. The Sustainability Partnership has 6 livability principles that guide all its actions. To provide more transportation options, to promote equitable, affordable housing, to enhance economic competitiveness, to support existing communities rather than building new things, to coordinate policies and leverage investments, and to value communities and neighborhoods. Fiscal year 2010 resources to support sustainable communities were in the hundreds of millions of dollars, so the movement has begun. Right now, Kansas City, Denver, and Baltimore are undertaking redevelopment projects under the auspices of the partnership. Atlanta, Austin, and San Antonio have adopted visitability ordinances for newly built single-family homes and duplexes that make them eligible for tax credits, city loans, land grants, and impact fee waivers. Pima County, Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, and Bolingbrook, Illinois require that all new single-family homes meet basic visitability criteria. Why does it make sense for architects, developers, builders, and remodelers to embrace universal design? Well, it helps attract and retain the growing demographic of retiring baby boomers, for one. It also provides an opportunity to assume prominent leadership roles in a movement that is inevitable. Plus, they can define the ground rules in terms of an emerging market in our area. That's always the case with the people who come in at the front end and help design the change. How can you help bring livable communities and universal design to the Central Plains? One way is through sponsorship, host information sessions, sponsor fundraising events, donate to the Livable Plains Capital Campaign, which will promote livable communities and universal design to policymakers, architects, contractors and developers, community organizations, citizens of the Central Plains, and outside audiences, which will be a function of population recruitment, which we so desperately need. You can help through ambassadorship, take the message to special interest groups, take the message to policymakers such as your local planning commission. Talk to your peers, carry the message to more people who can promote and benefit from universal design and livable communities in our area. If you're a builder or a remodeler, learn about the North Carolina State University's Universal and Accessible Home Plans on their Center for Universal Design program pages. Learn about the National Association of Home Builders Certified Aging in Place Specialist Program. The time is now. Sustainable, livable communities are coming. The federal government is behind them. Public opinion is behind them for its green value alone. And our growing population of older Americans will demand it. It will help us cultivate a more loyal citizenry among many demographics, but particularly among older, more affluent people. And that will help our local economies. Older adults want to find homes and communities where they can age in place, and they can afford it. We can lead and reap the benefits of leadership in terms of economic efficiency and potential population growth. Or we can follow. It will take all of us, everybody working together. But if we do, if we choose to lead with livable communities and universal design, everybody wins. Please check out these resources to learn more about livable communities and universal design. And thank you for your time. We hope that you get involved with this. It can be a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for our area and a wonderful opportunity for all the people who live in it.